Welcome to Handyman Plus, episode 100. Man, I didn't think we'd make it to 100 for this show with how Handyman started once upon a time, but we made it to episode 100 here, which is awesome. Shout out to Zach for coming on for episode 3 and sticking with me all the way to now. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, feeling well. I just hate Hulu subs.
That's true. Oh, man. Yeah, you know, I never really addressed that watching Bleach, but yeah, Hulu subs absolutely sucks.
They blow.
Yeah, like it is absolutely terrible. Like watching Bleach with those subs is a nightmare. Watching it on a mobile device is a nightmare, an absolute nightmare, because it takes up like the bottom half of your screen, just blocking what's happening.
The only plus I say for those subs is that they're actually accurate and well done, where they are legible, very easily legible.
That is true.
But the actual framing and speed of them is pretty shit.
Yeah.
And they're very in your face. Like most subs are very, they're there. You can look past them. These are like
very clearly just there and in your face and prominent. Yeah. Man, it is a problem. They need to get it together with their subs, especially as they're getting more and more originals. Shout out to Summertime Rendering finally being out of Disney jail.
Yep.
God, I was so pumped when you tagged me in that. So if you're in North America, you can check out Summertime Rendering on Hulu right now. And if you're in Europe, you can check out Disney Plus. So I'm excited to rewatch it. Are you going to watch it?
Which brings up the question for me, and I might. Does Disney own Hulu? Because why do all their supposed... Okay. Because I was like, well, so what's up with all these Disney Plus series showing up on Hulu? But okay, that explains it.
Yep. You know, Disney owns Hulu. They own ESPN as well.
All that. ESPN.
Yeah, all of that's under Disney. So... But yeah, Summertime Rendering, so excited for that to finally be available for everyone to watch. As I've said for like the last 6 months, it is a crime that show has been available to the extent that it has. But with episode 100, we're not doing anything overly special. Normally we do for these episodes. We've got something special planning to celebrate the fact that we hit 100, which is going to be our top 100 animes of all time, ranked. That's going to be a hell of a list. It's a separate video. They won't be part of the podcast. We'll probably react to the video once it comes out, you know, kind of maybe go a little bit more detail on why this one was higher than this one, or, you know, just pick and choose. We won't talk about all 100. But that will be a separate video that's going to be coming out sometime in the near future. Working on that right now. But for today's episode, of course, we do have Winter Anime 2023. We're going to be chatting about a few different series that we got on the slate, which, what do we even have on the slate? I forgot. Let me pull it up. Let's see. I know, obviously, we have Tokyo Revengers Season 2. I checked out Trigun Stampede, Handyman Saito, Campfire Cooking Another World, and an original series called Revenger. First 2 episodes is out right now. I guess that comes out Wednesdays, I think. I don't know.
Believe so.
I just happened to get on earlier, and I saw that it had another episode, so I thought I'd go ahead and watch it to prepare for this, you know, for today's episode. Just kind of give my thoughts on it. And then, of course, we have My Hero still, To Your Eternity, and BLUELOCK. And then we will also hit the Gundam finale, Mercury, The Witch from Mercury. We'll also be chatting about that. But if you could, check out a few of the links down below. We'd 100% appreciate that. Like our TikTok. We've been posting TikTok. It's been doing really well. We really appreciate everyone that's been engaging with us on TikTok. That's super cool. If you could go give us a follow, we would have 1,000,000% appreciate that. As well as go check out Agent Ink. If you get, you know, you may be interested in a pretty sick jersey. The Handyman Plus jersey is awesome. Definitely recommend that. Joining the Discord as well and sign up to our website. We would appreciate all of that extra support. That would be incredibly awesome. I'll go ahead and turn down the music. And we'll go ahead and talk about some things in the anime manga world. The first thing I do want to shout out is I did see, just as of 5 hours ago, the official announcement for the Trigun Stampede dub was made by the man himself, Johnny Young Bosch, reprising the role. So I did think that was pretty sick that, you know, he's getting to reprise the role as expected. He's of course reprising the role for Ichigo as well in 1,000-Year Blood War, so no really surprise in that regard, but I thought it was still pretty cool. Shout out to, you know, we got a new video game in the anime space, One Piece Odyssey. Demo's out right now. Game comes out tomorrow. Zach's already got it paid for and downloaded, as do I. Going to be checking that out. We'll chat about it this weekend on Game Static, and I'm sure we'll also maybe give some brief thoughts next week for Handyman Plus. For the people that, you know, don't check out Game Static, but you should totally check out Game Static.
Here's a question for you. What DLC character do you think they would throw in there?
For Odyssey?
Yeah.
Jinbei would be the first one in my opinion for sure. Yeah, that one's like for me like the most obvious one. After that, I don't know, kind of iffy on that. Kind of iffy, but Jinbei for sure. I feel like after that, I don't know.
I would say Buggy.
That's fair. I respect that.
And though it would probably never happen, fucking green-haired barrier dude.
Drawing blank on his name.
It starts with a B.
I always forget his name. Bartholomew?
That might be close.
Bartholomew?
That's what I'm thinking too.
I think that's it.
But
sounds familiar.
Because
I just watched Red recently and he was in it, so I figured I'd know.
Was he in Red?
Yeah, he's a prominent factor in Red.
That's funny.
For at least some parts of the movie. Yeah.
Because my thing is, there's the warlord who became a robot. His name is very close to Bartholomew's, and I almost confuse them because they're very close.
Right.
Because I always just call him Kuma.
That's fair. No. Shout out to Kuma.
And then probably Sabo.
Yeah, actually, Sabo, Jinbei, those would probably be 2 top tier DLC characters for sure.
And then Ace.
Well, actually, maybe, because Ace is in the game.
Yes.
Since this is like an alternate universe.
Yes.
Corazon's also in the game.
Yes.
So, maybe. Law probably is a playable character. DLC, maybe. That'd be my guesses. I would say like Law, Sabo, and Jinbei would probably be the 3 that would be DLC characters.
Probably easy guesses.
Yeah, I think it's the safest ones. Also, shout the fact that right now, this exact moment, for Anime Plus 100, we are live in 5 different places. We are multi-streaming. We started that Saturday with Game Aesthetic. Came off a little bumpy. Missed, didn't have the start of music, but you know what? We got it going. It is what it is. But yeah, right now, we are live at Sparky3 YouTube channel. We are live at the Anime Plus YouTube channel, twitch.tv/Sparky3, as well as the Anime Plus Twitter and my own Twitter at Alexite23. So anywhere that you would prefer to watch our show, you can watch our show wherever. And then audio version will still be available on 64 platforms.
Yes.
So shout out to that. And again, shout out to TikTok. Go follow us on TikTok. TikTok's doing really well. I had one made for us for Anime Plus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because right now all I've got up is Game Aesthetic related ones and a Terrible Football Show ones. I did have one for us where it was going to be just a nice little snippet, like just strictly our top 5 animes from last year.
Just pull the Sabuki Bisco one.
That is a good one. That was actually really... I might just re-upload that on TikTok. I have learned from other content creators there's nothing wrong with just rehashing old content on TikTok. It works. So I may do that, even though that is very, very old looking.
I mean, the series is already out as well, so the people, if anyone's interested, they can just go watch it.
Bingo. Actually, I probably will upload that. I'm glad you said that. But no, I had one for us where it was just our top 5 animes, whatever. It wasn't detail. It was just my 5, your 5, my 4, your 4, whatever. Just kind of getting out there, keep it nice and short and
the
clean.
thing we did last week?
Yeah.
The thing that I've already erased from my memory?
Yeah, and then I think it got to... I think it was actually my number 1. Yeah, it was number 1. When I was saying my number 1, the camera was still on you. I forgot to switch it. So, in the video, you're just, sitting there, and it's just me talking in the background. I'm like, oh, damn it, I got to remake it now. So, it is what it is. But, yeah, go follow us on TikTok, at Sparky3Official. We'd appreciate that follow. Zach, you got anything else, or are you ready to hop into some anime?
No, I don't think I got anything else at the moment.
I bet. All right, let's hop into some stuff. We'll start off today with the new stuff. It is the new stuff, after all, so I think that's the best way to start. Start off with the winter anime. Where do we want to start with these 5 new series to our lineup?
I don't know. How many do you got? How many do I got?
I have 3. You got 2.
All right, you do one of yours first.
All right, I'll do Revenger.
We both watched Revenger, so we both got 3. God dang it.
Oh, you watch Revenger?
Yeah, I told you I was going to read.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do Trigun Stampede then.
We literally just went over how I hate Hulu subs because of it.
No, you're talking about Tokyo Revengers.
Oh, you're talking about Revenger.
Revenger.
Oh.
That's yes. There's Tokyo Revengers, and then there's just Revenger.
Okay, we're gonna have to state this for people like me who can't tell the difference even when you got a script in front of you. So it's Revenger, not Tokyo Revenger.
Yes.
So more blood and guts, less blonde-haired delinquents.
Bingo. That is actually 100% accurate. Yeah, so Revenger, it's available on Crunchyroll right now. It is an original series. It doesn't have source material, but if it does well, I imagine it'll probably get one similar to Chorus Recoil, because it was the same situation.
Gotcha.
Of not having source material. But even 2 episodes in, I'll say that in terms of a story, I feel like it's going to be potentially pretty mid, pretty average. You know what I mean? It's not anything to really write home about. I feel like what's going to be to write home about is just everything else around it, just really the over the top action and the animation sequences of the show. I feel like that's going to be what's to write home about for this show.
Yeah,
because it's samurai based, kind of old school sort of vibe. We're in the era where there is some technological advancements. Like there are some people who are seen with guns, like old school guns, whatever. So like there is some technological advancements. That's the kind of era that we're in. It's not pure blown like Ghost of Tsushima. You know what I mean? But it immediately starts off with who is our protagonist, and immediately just kills 3 people. You don't know why, you don't know who these people are, and you see one of the 3 people as he's bleeding out, take out a gold coin. And this is important that I do plug this because it's brought up in actually brought up in episode 2, the meaning of that gold coin, and you just see him bite the coin, and then he dies. So it's like, okay, whatever. You see someone, you see a figure come by and pick up the gold coin, but you don't see who it is or anything, and it kind of brings us back to our main character kind of just chilling under a bridge. You get introduced to another one of our characters who come, and he's kind of like a priest almost, and he's talking to our samurai character. Kuruma Raizo is his name. Kuruma, yeah, I think it's Kuruma. I know it's Raizo, but I think it's Kuruma's. Kuruma Raizo is our main character, the samurai, and he, he's just kind of chilling under the bridge, just kind of like giving up on life to an extent. And this priest character kind of just like, just kind of chatting with him, kind of just like, hey, what's up, dude? What you doing? Just chilling, just having a good time. And basically, our character slowly starts to kind of open up in this sequence where he talks about that he killed someone. Okay, you killed someone. Well, we are in the era of samurais. That's kind of normal. So what's up? What's beyond that? You killed someone. Big deal. The 3 people die like every day, around here. It's the norm.
More than that on a daily basis, but hey, cool.
Exactly. Yeah, so what's up? And he further goes into detail that he killed his fiance's father. So he killed his father-in-law. And he didn't want to, per se. It was an order that came down from the clan that he is serving, essentially. And basically, it was depicted that his fiance's father-in-law, or his fiance's father, sorry, so his father-in-law was basically dealing with drug deals, opium.
Okay.
And the order came down for him to take care of it, and he couldn't necessarily deny the order. There was too much power behind that order for him to even attempt to deny it, and him basically hiding out now is him just being obviously unable to face his fiance naturally. You know what I mean? Like, he's completed, he's job well done, but he killed his, fiance's, father. And our priest dude kind of lifts him back up to an extent of where, you can't let this be the end all of your life, essentially. And he's just like, okay, yeah, you know what, you're right. And he begins to leave. He gets then surrounded by 3 guys from said clan, like, and he's being respectful to him, like, bowing his head. It's like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? And they're like, oh, yeah, good job killing those guys, killing that dude, whatever. And then they pull out guns like, all right, we're going to kill you now, you idiot. And he's just like, oh, no, gasp. Jumps off the cliff, and that's when we start getting introduced to some of our other characters. Once again, back to the priest character. You get introduced to, like, this little girl who was talking to him at that moment, like, whenever he was at gunpoint, she's like, jump off the cliff. He's like, who the fuck's that? He's like, jump off the cliff if you want to die. If you don't want to die. So you get introduced to those 2 right off the bat.
I'm sorry, Alex. I just now saw that little girl with Arnold Schwarzenegger's face. Jump if you want to live.
That's basically accurate because, like, our character's like, what do you mean? She's like, if you don't jump, you're going to die.
Oh, dang it.
But anyway, so our main character Kuruma, he ends up getting rescued. He wakes up within a shack, whatever, of this priest. The priest's home essentially, and the priest just tells him that that we are a group that handles a wide variety of tasks. And while she's doing whatever, he's making nice little art pieces, and it's just like. The dude's like, okay, but, what do you mean? What exactly do you mean by wide variety of tasks, whatever? It's like, we handle a wide variety of tasks.
So they're just handy people?
You could say that.
Okay.
Handy people in more than one ways.
Okay.
Because basically the way it's the way that the rest of it kind of goes from there is that they do a lot of everyday tasks for people. Doing he like the priest likes doing art stuff.
Okay.
One of our characters is a doctor. They all do normal everyday things, but in a wide variety of tasks is they murder people. They will murder people for you.
By daytime, we help the sick and the poor. But at night, we then murder as we need.
Exactly. 100% accurate. So as he's kind of breaking that down, he tells Kuruma the truth that the person who sent down the order to have that man killed, he's the one really pulling the strings, that it was all just a setup. So basically, Kuruma killed his father-in-law for no reason. Oof. At this point as well, his fiance is under the belief that he's dead and her father's dead. So she's very distraught. We'll follow up on that. So in this moment, Kuruma basically goes to work with this group, right?
Okay.
And I'm referring to it as group just because we haven't got the actual introduction of the name yet. We do in episode 2, which is very straightforward, very to the point, because it's the show title. Their group name is the Revengers. That's
roll credits.
Bingo. But anyway, so he's basically working with them to try to kill this guy at the top, right? Or kill one of the guys at the top, one of the guys that set them up.
Okay.
Okay. Where he's just like, this is the place. Our main character even lied to this group where he set it up as like, oh yeah, there is no secret escape pass. He trusts his guards too much. So like once he's in here, he's in here. There's no way he's getting out. That was a lie because he wanted to kill him himself. So like you get some really nice sequences of each of the characters kind of doing their thing. Well, except the Doctor, you get to see what he gets to do in episode 2, which is just really over the top. But
okay.
Because he was essentially watching, because Kuruma wasn't supposed to go on this mission. He was supposed to set back. He gave them all the information they needed, and it was going to be the priest, the little girl, and another character. Oh, I don't know his name. New show, learning names.
Okay.
Those are the only 3 that were going to complete this mission. The Doctor, big buff green-haired daddy, he's sticking back and making sure Kuruma doesn't dip out.
It's right? Like the Doctor's buff?
He's very buff. He's very, very ripped, and that goes into what he does in episode 2.
Okay.
He is very unnecessarily like Armstrong level ripped. Like he is a very, very buff individual.
All right.
Anyway, so you get some pretty cool shots of animation. This is where I'm talking about, of where the story feels like very predictable, very average, like almost a copy and paste of something you've probably seen before, right? But it's some of the animation that's going to get you, because like even the first animation of where you see Kuruma kill the 3 dudes was animated very, very beautifully. This is a very bloody show, so there's going to be a lot of cum flying everywhere in China, since they like to cover up all the blood as white.
Okay, I was like, did he just say that?
I did, yes. So it's a very, very bloody show. So like in the sequence of where you see these 3 picking everyone off inside the building that they're in, right? Like you get a nice shot of the dude. Don't know his name. The rando guy, we'll call him here. Not the buff dude, not the priest. Where he gets to, his main way of fighting is like throwing cards and it's getting split into people's faces, and you get a nice up close shot of the card being like right between their eyes and also in their lip and falling down and dying. The little girl, the way she does any sort of combat's insane. Where you see a dude kind of walk into a kitchen and kind of looking around and stuff, right? And he gets a string wrapped around his neck, and you see a kite outside the building fly up into the sky and just basically hangs him up on the wall. And she's like, she's winding the wire herself, and she's smiling sadistically, and she does a nice little pull to it where it essentially decapitates him. And it's just brutal. It's straight brutality, in my opinion. A lot of blood, a lot of nice animation in that regard. And then our priest, you see him just straight suffocate someone. He's got like some gold paper. Doesn't explain in 2 episodes. Still has not explained how this works. Where he just when he first used it, he's holding the little. It's like a gold napkin, right? And he's got it in his mouth, and he's holding it like this. And then he just takes it and just places on someone's face, and you just see them start to suffocate.
So is it a napkin or a talisman?
It looks like a napkin.
Okay.
It's just like it looks like a gold napkin to me.
Okay.
Would you say it was raining blood? I would. But then you just see, after he puts the paper on, the person just kind of like swinging their arms around, whatever, suffocating, losing air. You see him just take his jacket off. He's got a huge religious tattoo on his back, and he starts saying a prayer. And as he finishes saying the prayer, you see like we'll say it's a talisman. That's probably what it is. And you just see it just scrunch up on their face, and you see their body turn almost like blue, and they die. Like, I mean, it's pretty savage. And in this first episode, that dude did obviously have a escape path. He gets killed by Kuruma, whatever, and everyone's just like, "Oh man, this dude took our kill and stuff. Oh, blah, whatever." And it kind of then once we get into episode 2, it's you get to see some more back workings on it of where you get to find out more about this group and really what they do. Because like immediately when you get to see Big Buff Green Daddy, the doctor, he's helping a patient who's very clearly like. She's very clearly on her last legs, right?
Okay.
Like she's going to die in the very near future, and he's trying to help her be a doctor and stuff. The show is called Revengers. It is on Crunchyroll. It's Crunchyroll original. No source material, original anime. First 2 episodes are out right now. But this is where you get the introduction to the gold coin thing, because like as she's talking about her health and this and that, and he's telling her that you really should try to eat eat some fish and meat and get your strength up, whatever, and blah blah blah. She's like, oh yeah, whatever. She's like, I've already had my last meal. And then she pulls up a box and she pulls out a coin that's already been bitten into, and she gives it to him, and she starts talking about, but I've heard some some works under behind the scenes of where you give someone this coin and they take care of some special business for you. The doctor plays it off like he has no idea what she's talking about, but he's just like, but if you did want someone to die, who would it be? And so basically it's like this dude who claims that he's her husband. He's like an abusive prick, alcoholic, gambler, whatever, and just whatever. It's like wants him dead. You see the dude, step out of the room. He's like, I hope the best for you. And as he stands at the door, he's like, all right, 2 targets. He just like walks off to do his thing. And then you then get the real introduction to this group of there are grudges in this world that need to be settled.
Okay.
And that is what this group is to do. At the end of the day, we are still murdering people, but we ask for forgiveness to our savior in this series, because it's very heavy religious based in this regard. So they're murdering people for the sake of religion and for the sake of settling grudges, essentially. That's essentially what this group does. And obviously...
So they're the Inquisition?
Basically. Now, this is going to, I feel like, very obviously heavily expand. We're 2 episodes in.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, so this is the base premise that I've gotten 2 episodes in. And... our main character essentially joins the group because in his mind, like, what does he have to live for, right? He killed his, fiance's husband at the end of episode 1. After he killed the dude that sent down the order, he was going to go to her house and kill himself in front of her to atone for what he's done. And he comes in there and she killed herself.
Yes.
So his fiance is now dead. So he's a mess about it, and he essentially wants to die. But the priest basically throws it out there. It's like, yeah, but like the actual true head ringleader, like, hey, he's still alive. Does that not piss you off? And he's just like, you know what? That does kind of piss me off. You're right. And that's essentially how he joins the group.
Okay.
Is to get his true revenge. Now, to kind of finish things off, because like that's like the biggest bulk of the first 2 episodes in general premise, I do just want to plug what I was referring to when it came to big buff green hair Dr. Daddy, because this dude, like when he gets going, he is over the top. All right, so he's an archer. He's an archer of the group. So like they found the target. The target knows that he's being tracked because this dude put a bodyguard on him. Right?
So does he shoot him with an arrow from like 1,000 miles away or something?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's unbelievably aggressive.
Okay.
Unbelievably aggressive. So they have the target in lock. He's on a boat with his bodyguard. They're going to escape the city, whatever. This dude's on top of a building, however far away. He pulls out his bow. It kind of like snaps out and everything, really nice. And he pulls out, not a normal arrow, by the way. It's like a fucking harpoon. All right. I mean, this thing's massive. And you just see him start just pulling it back slow. You see his face start turning red. You see steam coming off this dude. His shirt just completely rips apart.
God.
Completely over the top. Fires the bow. You get a nice shot. Fires the arrow or the harpoon. You see a nice side shot of the boat. You see the boat just explode, essentially. The target is now underwater. And he looks over and he sees the bodyguard now stuck to the bottom of this little river thanks to the harpoon. I mean, it was so over the top, dude. And as the green haired dude starts kind of calming down, you see color coming back into into his face and everything, you still see steam just coming off this dude. Like this, it was aggressive as hell. And then to finish off the episode, we got another nice shot of the the brutality of the anime, where our main character finishes off the target, where he essentially slices off the top part of his body, and you see it. It's like a nice shot where it's like floating up in the air almost in the moonlight. The dude's still like alive for a moment, where he's just like, huh? And you just see blood flying everywhere. Like, I think the big draw to this series is going to be the action, the animation and stuff. I think the story is going to be unbelievably predictable from beginning to end. That's my opinion. And reading the comments, it feels like a lot of people feel that same way. You know what I mean? Where everyone's just like, I like this, but I don't know if it's going to get season 2, you know?
I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's being done by a good animation studio, because I just looked up, and several of their more recent works that people may know of is Ascendance of a Bookworm, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, Is Zeta the Last Witch, Kimono Jihen. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's some of the more recent works within the last year or so.
Right.
Or 5 years.
But I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I'll keep watching it for now. All of our characters are pretty entertaining in their own rights, but they're all, I feel like, pretty generic in a way.
Okay.
They're entertaining, but in a generic way, where it's just like you can copy paste of like, okay, this type of character. All right, yeah, it's this character. Okay, this type of character. Okay, yep. There, that's there. That check mark is marked. Cool. Yeah, but I mean, I think it'll be an entertaining watch. Just like maybe like a nice like 6.5 out of 10 sort of vibe. You know, it's not bad. I mean, I'll watch it every week, and we'll just kind of see how it goes.
Okay.
What about you? Let's hit one of yours.
Let's go over Campfire Cooking in Another World.
Yeah, what the fuck is this, Zach?
So this series is some 27-year-old salaryman. We get the generic isekai of our kingdom's in trouble, summon heroes. And they summon heroes, and they get 3 high schoolers who are fully down for this. And then this salaryman who's like, the fuck is going on? He's just like, is this what I've read in comics and books? Some mage is going through, looking through all the high schoolers. Oh, you're a holy sword wielder. Amazing. Oh, y'all have amazing magic, and you can use so many types. What do I got? Online grocery shopping. What? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Sorry, bro.
Whoops.
And that's sort of how the whole opening is, and it actually is a sort of funny contrast. It shows up just like, so the other 3 are high school kids, and they're fully down to take on this whole. We've been summoned to another world where heroes will do what's necessary of it, and he's just like, yeah, can I just like go? I don't feel like I'm suited for a hero with my abilities and whatnot. And he's like making all these observations of when they meet the king and whatnot. It's just like the king's fat, plump. Him and his wife have very nice jewelry, and he's just like, this is sus. I'm a peace out. And they're like, that's fair. You have no powers. Here's 20 gold. Be away with you. Don't talk about this ever again. And more or less, he just starts living his life. He's just like, he has 20 gold, and he's figuring out more or less the economy and stuff, things how the kingdom is, and he's very quickly comes to realize, I need to get out of here, because it just seems odd here with how the king and whatnot is. And when he's at an end, he discovers his ability is straight up, it's a magical online shopping store. It is magical grocery store in a fantasy world. It's a whole browser, it's a whole website. He can just order whatever food he wants, and immediately, poof, Amazon box full of food. And for very cheaply compared to the actual real world prices, because the prices are based on modern times, which they're much more available. So, of course, cheaper prices. There's a larger supply than demand.
Right.
Well, and it begins his travel, and he discovers that, one, apparently people very rarely get an appraisal, so he doesn't have to worry about people looking at his and finding out that he's a accidental hero is literally his class job title. Mm-hmm. And some other things, and finds out that the kingdom apparently likes to attack other people, and that it may not actually be the demons who are attacking the kingdom, it may just be the kingdom being warmongers. And more or less, he goes to Adventuring Guild and hires some people to take his ass to the other kingdom, to the next kingdom over, because the kingdom he's in has stopped travel because they don't want their citizens running away. more or less, the rest of the episode's him just traveling around with the guild group, cooking food for them. And more or less, it then just becomes a cooking anime of him doing different things, showing it off, saying what it is, all this stuff. All the people, the groupies with is super happy because usually they just eat rations and hard bread and things like that. So they get look forward to the meals. He discovers during like one of the meals that his food gives buffs because they're all sitting around. Oh, this is so good. I feel so much better. And he's just like, that's really weird. And he expects why is their stats so high? And he's just like, oh no, I got to keep this a secret. If they find out, someone's just going to kidnap me, imprison me, and make me a sweatshop cook.
Basically.
And he's just like, I just got to keep this quiet.
No one needs to know. It's for their own good. It's for my own good.
Yes. And during their entire travels, in the background, you see this beast just in the bushes, watching, waiting, ready to, I assume, attack. And during like the second or third day when they're eating dinner, he makes some ginger pork chops out of a boar.
Sounds good.
And they kill him. And yeah, while they're eating, everyone's just like, oh, it's so delicious. So, what is that? He's like, what? Do y'all not like it? But behind you, he looks behind, giant ass wolf, a named beast called Fenrir, because the whole party recognized him. He's just like, oh God. And then he's like, human, feed me or die. It's like, yes, sir. It'll take me a moment. Is that fine? Do it quickly. And the last 8 to 10 minutes of the show is just rolling the end credits and just showing him going back and forth, cutting up meat, frying it up, serving the dog. More! Cooking meat, serving it up, feeding the dog. And he does this like 5 times. And eventually the dog's just like, I can't believe you satisfied me with so little meat. So little meat? It's decided. I like you. I'm going to make a familiar contract with you. A contract? Yes, a familiar contract. Do you not know what that is? It's like, this seems like a hassle. We're going to form a contract. But what if we're going to form a contract. He's like, but I refuse. You're forming a contract with me. So he more or less gets forced to make a contract with this creature. And it's just like, the contract's complete. It lays down. It's now your job to take care of me. I expect my 3 meals a day. Sleep, he goes, what? And...
The name of this anime that he is talking about is Campfire Cooking in Another World.
That is the entire title.
Yep. Shout out to Shadow Jacket 1 over at Twitch checking us out. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you.
So yeah, it just started. So seems like it's gonna be a nice just slice of life food anime. We'll see how it goes because it hinted out with the next episode preview that the dog he's now contracted with, or wolf, dog's offensive, contracted with seems to be some like living legend to the people, and it's gonna be a thing. More or less, he's the food pet for this creature.
Mm-hmm. Now I gotta ask, because this is just how it goes. Is this one that you've read before, or did you just yeet this one to try it out?
No, I yeeted this one.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
Now, Handyman Saito is one I read before.
Okay, all right.
In which I was really happy when I saw it was getting an anime. In which I can just jump into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the thing about it was I was very curious how they're going to do the anime, because the series itself is not like a regular traditional serialized manga. It is serialized, but it's not in the traditional like 20 pages and whatnot. Each chapter was more like 8 or 10. Mm-hmm. So like half the regular. They're super quick chapters. So like in this episode, it does like different titles for different segments of like Handyman Saito, the Senile Wizard, the not meticulous, I forget the word for it, but because I can't think of a better word. Oh, the Miser Fairy is what she's called.
Right.
And each one of those titles, whenever it comes up, that's a whole chapter from the manga. And like it goes like 8 or 10 of these in this 23 minutes. So I need to double check how long this is, because I'm gonna be curious how all it flows, because this series is more or less just a dude who was a handyman in Japan. He got yeeted into this fantasy world, and he knows how to repair stuff, pick locks, all this fun stuff. And he just joins this group of adventurers.
He's just your everyday dad.
No, he's not your everyday dad.
He's your everyday dad.
He's not your everyday dad. He's not even. He's only 26, I think.
He's your everyday dad.
Fuck you. Yeah, because the episode starts with them in front of a door, and he's picking a lock, and he's like, "Can you do it?" "Yeah, I got this." Oh, you're great, Saito. Wow, that was a lot easier than the sigil lock. They open the door. Ah, shit, it's another door. They really wanted to lock this away. He goes about locking it. He was like, something feels odd about it. The wizard steps up. Oh, there's magic. All right, on the count of 3, Saito. And like the wizard is like super old. He's like he's literally like 100 years old, if I remember correctly.
Also, I just want you to know, I just noticed that was pretty funny. It's fixed now, but for some reason the camera just aggressively zoomed in on you. I don't know why.
Every time the thing blue lights, it moves. I just assume it's like right now. It just went blue, so it's doing something now.
Oh man, that's so fun. I didn't even notice that. I just look over. I'm like, why is it so aggressively on Zach's face?
This camera is messed up, man. I'm just switching back to both and get killed at. So, yeah, but more or less, it's just showing off the daily life of him with this adventuring group, this female swordsman, this miser fairy, senile wizard. And the wizard guy's great because, like, during his little episode, they're all taking a break, walking around, talking, just like, yeah, he's a great wizard. And he's just off in the background with his staff, just staring at a butterfly. It's like, yeah, he's a powerful wizard. He just forgets his incantations. It's like our party's levels are really skewed, and it does he's like a level 88. The swordsman's level 43, and the fairy's 31, and then Saito's level 8. So this party's levels are like super skewed,
right?
But it more or less just goes through all these, just showing off. Because one thing I really like about this series, which it'll eventually go into, it goes a little deeper into each of the characters' backstories and things, but it really does let you just understand the relationship between everyone, because it gives you very little. You know that Saito's a guy from Japan, and he's slowly feeling like he's getting more out of his life here in this fantasy world versus anything he got in Japan, because it even has a little moment in this episode where he goes and opens a lady's lock for her because she forgot her keys and locked out, and he told her the price of it was 70,000 yen, which is the standard price for the job and then the travel fees. And she's like, you only worked for like 10 minutes. Are you overcharging me? Yada, yada. More or less bitching about the price, trying to get out of it. Versus the party, he unlocks the chest of chests, like, and they're all just super happy about it because they have someone who can unlock chests now. But it just goes through, it shows off the wizard, him being senile, the miser fairy, how anytime the old man has back problems, she heals it and charges him a gold coin. All this fun stuff. We get introduced to a couple other characters who only come prominent later, like the dwarf wizard, who you could appreciate.
I probably would.
He is, so his whole thing, he's in full plate armor, 2 shields and a staff. He's just like, the way of the tank wizard. He's just...
Love that.
He just goes in the middle of it, things are beating on his shield, and he's just casting a spell. And when it charges out, boom, from the center, just explodes, kills everything.
Love
and
that.
Blood's just raining on him, he's just like, this is the true path of a wizard. Carries on. We get introduced to a pair who's in a dungeon, and so like super frilly dress, lolly-looking character, and then super grizzled, shirtless, scarred guy, and they're just talking. It's like, I think we've had enough rest, and it's just showing them off. They're having a nice conversation, eating. It shows their weapons, a staff, and then a giant axe, and they're just hanging out. And it's like, I think it's time to go. It's like, yeah, let's get on. They walk over. He grabs the staff. She grabs the giant axe. Stand behind me. I was like, of course it's the lolly with the axe.
Naturally.
We get introduced to the item shop girl of this town, where Saito works with her, appraising items and yada, yada, yada. Him knowing how to use an abacus to count the money and everything. And just the weird thing of the swordsman girl and his party slightly crushing on him because she has this super dark armor that covers everything. You can't see jack shit. And just menacing armor, walks in the shop. She's like, I've come for herbs. And she's like, oh, they're over there. She starts looking and she's just like, Elua? Is that you? What you doing? No, you don't know who you're talking about, but you just called me Saito. Bolts the fuck out. But more or less, it's just feel good and showing off the world and everything. And like the last one ends with him. He screwed up. He was picking a chest and was like, well, we can't use magic here. We should really go back. It's like, we're already here. Let's just get the chest. He sets off a trap. Pit opens up from him, and he just completely falls and luckily lives because there was enough water to soften his fall. But he's completely fucked up. He's got a broken leg, and he's just like, I'm just going to be left again. there's no reason we can't use magic here. And it's just a nice moment where he's laying there reminiscing and everything, and all the three of them show up. The old man just crutching along, the fairy on his shoulder since she can't fly without magic, and then the swordsman there. Grandma's like, these two are extra luggage getting down here, but we came and got you. And it just has that nice moment of him just feeling like he's part of a group.
How much have you actually read of this series?
It's been a couple months since I've read it, so there's probably at least a couple chapters I haven't read, but I can guarantee you I've read everything we're going to see through this.
Oh, okay.
Because I guarantee you, for anyone who watches this, keep with it. It's just a nice feel-good, but it gets fucking wild.
Like in what way?
It does a whole 720. Like the dwarf wizard and the two I mentioned that it showed off but didn't do much anything else, all of them become relevant for one event because it mostly just follows Saito and the group he's with. Like it also in this shows off how Saito chooses to learn the old wizard's incantations to help him out because it has a whole moment where they're facing down some lizard people and it was, I got this, let me just burn them all. He starts into magic's flowing in the staff. He's just like, what comes next? Gosh dang it. The magic slowly loses. Like, I knew this is how it was going to go. And so I was like, I forget the old guy's name at the moment. It's like, release you from these bonds, these fiery chains. Like, you're right. He says that everything goes right back to how it was. Boom! Kills everything. And it just cements how senile the old guy is because it's like, yeah, we sort of just let him join because he's a strong wizard, even if he does forget his. It's like there was this one time where he showed up late for an adventure, so we found out later that he teleported himself and he got the coordinates wrong and fused himself with a golem. So it's him just in a golem hanging out the back of it. He's like, he eventually showed up just like that, and it shows him on top right in the golem. It's down like a hand. He's just got a stone hand. He's driving, crushing through all the enemies.
I hate that.
And like, there's even moments like, yeah, he also forgets he's part of our party at times. It just he has a moment of him just looking, fellow adventurers, I seem to have been left behind by my party because I forget my incantations. Can I join your party? Just shows the warrior and the fairy list like, you think he's forgotten us too? Just ignore him. They walk off. He's like, so can I join you? He forgets sometimes what party he's part of. I mean, I'm going to enjoy it overall because...
Yeah, I'm assuming it's like a 12 or 13 episodes?
I can only assume so because I don't see it being 25 because as far as I'm aware, there's not enough content for that, especially with how they're going through it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there is a lot of chapters, but I said each chapter is maybe 8 to 10 pages.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and then it probably would only be like 12 or 13.
But it is a very enjoyable series for anyone who's just looking for a fantasy slice of life. I say watch this and just... It gets wild with some of the stuff they decide to do.
I guess I'll touch on Trigun. I mean, it's Trigun.
So is it like a faithful redo? Is it what it's supposed to be?
Man, I'm be honest with you. I'm not the person to answer that question. You got to keep in mind I've never seen Trigun before. This is my first time experiencing Trigun. So like, if this is more faithful, that's how they've marketed it. They've marketed Trigun Stampede as a faithful remake of the series to the manga, where it's going to be more accurate to the manga. So to answer your question,
okay.
I would assume yes.
So it's going to be like a Full Metal Alchemist thing because the original Trigun anime did take some liberties.
Yeah. This is basically going to be essentially the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood of Trigun.
Gotcha.
So for me, experiencing it for the very first time, I enjoyed this first episode because I just enjoy how wacky Vash is.
Vash is ridiculous.
Yeah, and that alone just made me like, okay, yeah, I'm down to watch this.
Is he being chased down by a lady named Meryl?
Yes.
Does she have an assistant?
Yes.
Is she super tall?
The assistant?
Yeah.
He's super tall.
Oh, it's a he now.
The reporter? Am I thinking of the right characters right now?
Probably.
The two reporters?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the little girl and there's a tall dude.
Oh, it's a guy now. Okay.
I guess it's a guy now. I don't know. Was it a girl before?
Yeah, because in Trigun it was two ladies.
Okay. Yeah, it's a guy. It's an older dude who's a reporter, and the little girl, she's like new. She's new reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that they are trying to just once they find out that he is Vash the Stampede, they basically take him captives. Like, we're gonna get a fucking story out of you, and then we could potentially get all the money from you. That's essentially what their mindset is, to get a story out of him. But like, for me talking about this show, most people have probably seen Trigun except for me, because I live on my own little island for the longest time in my life when it comes to anime. The main things to kind of chat about is, number one for me is, as a new viewer, Vash is just completely ridiculous, and I'm here for it. I love the chaotic energy he brings. It is phenomenal. I love every bit of it. But also what I love about it, I love this with pretty much any character. I mean, there's a lot of characters across anime that are like this, and it's like when you clearly see that they are like that sort of character, I personally just get automatically drawn to them. Where you have a character like Vash who is very clearly like, he's putting on this persona of, he's like not very strong, doesn't want to fight, this and that, but then he can fucking turn it on. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love characters like that. That is
And he's
incredible.
a giant pacifist the entire time.
Exactly, because in this first episode, where he gets put into a situation of having to do a good old showdown. He doesn't want to do the showdown, and the guy's just, and Vash trying to talk him out of it, and he's just like, yeah, you know what, you're right. And he throws the gun, then he pulls out a fucking rocket launcher and fires mortars off in the fucking sky. And Vash is, gonna try to be badass mode and, take up all of them. But then when he goes to shoot, he doesn't have any bullets, so he would have been fucked for this showdown anyway.
He doesn't keep bullets in his gun.
Yeah, in true Vash fashion. And then he ends up getting a bullet and shows off his true capabilities of where he just managed to take out every single one of these, blow them all up. But just the character himself, I'm already very attached to as a new viewer, a new person experiencing this series for the first time. I'm very attached to the character immediately, just because he's I can tell where he's entertaining, and just the first couple of minutes of the episode where you see what happened with him and his brother and the chick who I guess was like their mother figure, but you get to see that whole sequence on the space station and stuff, and learning that backstory. And then
you get that so much quicker.
Yeah, it's literally, that's the first scene. Is as her saying, I'm so glad I got to meet you boys, and then sending them off and everything blowing up. That's first scene. The episode does end with the establishment of his brother, and you get another shot of where his brother's standing on top of whatever, laughing, like a maniac, and Vash just like, what are you doing? And this and that. It's like, you killed so and so. So you get already these establishments for his character very early, which I'm assuming is good for it. Again, I don't know. Never read the manga, never watched the original show. But it's establishing things quickly for me, allowing me as a new viewer to get into it very easily. Now, the other obvious elephant in the room that a lot of people were worried about and concerned about going into it, the animation. It is a CGI series. And that naturally is a concern for a lot of people. And I got to say, took maybe 3 minutes for me to be like, all right, no, this is fine. Which is, that's a great thing. That's a massive kudos to the animation studio. Is, because I saw a lot of people who said the same thing about Dragon Ball Superhero, worst movie name in history, where it only took a couple minutes to get adjusted to the fact that the full movie is CGI, and it's the same thing with this. And even with this, it really wasn't even a big deal for me to go from Trigun to Revenger, which is normal animation.
Yeah.
Everything, and that is kudos to the animation studio that's handling Trigun Stampede. Is that the animation looked clean, it looked good for it being CGI. I did see some comments on Twitter where people were pretty upset with a few approaches to the episode, where it's just they spent an extra minute of Vash trying to chase down a bullet that got thrown to him to shoot the mortars, And it's just they're just trying to flex their animation, whatever, versus doing just more story and character content. I could see that. I mean, it is CGI. You're going to want to try to flex the animation in some capacity. That's just how it goes. But, overall, as someone who's never experienced Trigun before, I really enjoyed the first episode. Looking forward to seeing more. And
I'm so not worried about the animation. It's in such good hands.
Who is it?
Studio Orange.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, not even worried about it. I mean, and like I said, the first episode was great. I mean, it was awesome. Every single sequence throughout this first episode looked incredible. Very colorful, very polished, very streamlined. Everything was good. So and anyone that is let's say you have checked out Trigun before and you would love to see experience the series again, but you're just like CGI. Ugh. It's not that bad, I promise. It is very, very clean. I personally really enjoy it, and I've been in the boat of being anti CGI personally. But this is one of those cases of like, okay, yeah, this is actually good. This is good. I'm more open to the idea of CGI now. Like, this is pretty sick. Obviously, since this is like a full remake of the series, I have no idea how long this is going to last. This might be my Dragon Quest, Zach. This might be my Dragon Quest, where we just don't know when it's going to end.
I mean, yours is far better than Dragon Quest.
That's true. I'm so sorry for you. But no, Trigun episode 1, Trigun Stampede, pretty solid. Like I said, if you have not seen Trigun before and you might be curious just like I was, definitely jump into it. Maybe you'll enjoy it as well. All right, final anime of the winter bunch, and then we'll jump into our other 4. So for anyone that is just now maybe tuning into the live stream, what we have going on right now is going to be hitting some Tokyo Revengers Season 2, Episode 1, and then we still have Blue Lock, the final episode of Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury, To Your Eternity, Season 2, Episode 11, and My Hero Academia.
And if you don't care about Tokyo Revenger spoilers, go check out our spoiler cast for it.
We did, episode 94. Episode 94. Did a full, 2-hour-long spoiler cast.
Just throw that one in there real quick.
Yeah, talking about the full series. This is after the manga had reached its conclusion. We wanted to take a few minutes to dive into everything that basically took place of this arc that Season 2 will cover up to the ending. So we really dove into that one. But yeah, Tokyo Revengers Season 2, Episode 1. What's your thoughts on it? We're coming back out of the fallout of Kisaki, shooting Takamichi and just kind of falling out, how we got back to
Shifuya.
I know. Well, at the end of the episode, appears to obviously shoot Takamichi is what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
But obviously Chifuya is shot and dead on the floor, unfortunately. So we're getting a fallout of that and kind of how he gets out of it and stuff. Just what was your overall thoughts? Because a lot of this episode, as it should have and as it really needed to be, focused a lot on the present.
Yes.
Very heavy emphasis on the present before he did another time leap. What did you think about this first episode, getting back into the swing of things?
I'm just going to reiterate, I hate Hulu subs.
Hulu subs sucks. For sure, I agree to that.
Just because I did enjoy how they did the escape. The only thing that the Hulu subs ruin is the fact that they throw the name there of who's speaking and ruins the reveal that it's Kazutora, which is such a great reveal.
It is, and they ruined it, bro.
And just because it has that whole movement of Takamichi waking up and going, Bachi? Shows Kazutora.
Yeah, I know. Completely ruins it because it ruins it because he spoke when he wasn't on screen.
Yes.
So I made sure to clarify who was talking. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, completely ruin it. I mean, and you could have missed it and it still might have been a good reveal because again, Hulu sub sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I did sort of ruin that reveal, but it was nice sort of getting to see the whole aftermath of this new timeline after somewhat succeeding in the, I can't remember what it's called now. Not Bloody Halloween.
It was Bloody Halloween.
Was it Bloody Halloween?
Bloody Halloween was the last event we had.
Where he was unfortunately not able to save Baji, but kept Kazutora from being killed.
Yep.
Luckily, which has led to Kazutora in turn keeping his ass alive.
Even though he didn't want to.
Yeah, he wanted Chifuya.
Yeah, he wanted to try to save Chifuya because Chifuya was the one person that was there for him whenever he got out.
Yeah. And just getting this whole Kazutora's events for everything that's been happening of trying to change Toman after what it's become because it's a giant criminal organization.
A giant clusterfuck.
And led by Mikey for sure, but no one's seen him and just people are being off because Chifuya goes missing for a month. No one's heard from him. After that dinner that Takamichi was at while he was tied up by Kisuke, apparently Pachan and Pachan.
Yes, Pachan and Pachan. I feel you.
Got murdered.
Rip.
With Pachan trying to defend Pachan.
Rip.
I just realized they really did that. Real animation, just how much the blood and the bullets and everything for what it was. I just realized how well they had done that.
Yes, they did.
So it's more or less Mikey's having the old crew killed.
Yep.
All
of his old friends having everyone killed.
And it's because of
trust them.
all the black dragons and their money because they apparently became subordinates under Toman, and they're willing to do anything for money. Drugs, prostitution, gun running, all that fun stuff. And it did note the Black Dragon people in the last episode of season 1, and then it doesn't readdress them in this, which is funny. We get shots of their faces.
Yep.
But it's not like, doesn't tell us who they are again, even though we know who they are. Fuck Coco. I'm gonna just throw that one out.
Had to throw that out there. Okay. All
right. And then we get the second half of where Kazutora takes Takamichi to meet Naoto. Naoto arrests him, and then Naoto shows him the videos of Takamichi just being a giant prick.
Just being a very different character.
Yes.
Like, and I really enjoy how that was depicted for the anime, obviously. It's because as he's watching it, you have the voice actor that we know playing the Takamichi watching this video, and just the tone of his voice being what we know.
So much harder.
Yeah, just what we know. And then you listen to the one in the video, and it's just almost like a different person.
Exactly.
Yeah, and because it is. He's a completely different person. Like, just money and power has completely corrupted him, becoming one of the top of Toman. And, in this video, Takamichi sits there and watches and realizes in horror that he's the one that, once he realizes that it's Akun he's talking to, and he realizes he's the one that sent out the hit.
And then there was also the second video of him,
realizing
his other self, after he finds out who he sent Akun to kill, him having that completely overreaction.
Yes.
I mean, I say overreaction,
yeah,
but
we know what you mean. Yeah.
But it is definitely contrast, and I do enjoy that because I don't know if we've had moments like that or if we're gonna have it where there's some people who just who do mention Takamichi's a different person when it's not Takamichi.
Yes. Vastly different. Whenever he's in the process of the time looping shit, vastly different character.
Yeah. Well, I mean, overall, I enjoyed how this episode sort of started to reintegrate to everyone where we're at and things, and as he goes to do his third run, just seeing how everything played out, him more or less having a breakdown and almost giving up, just like, I can't do anything every time she dies, and now just being like, get it together, man. You're doing shit.
You saved me. You saved Kazutoro. Baji didn't exist in this. He may be dead now, but he didn't exist.
He saved Draken.
Yep.
All these people didn't exist originally, but now they exist, and their influence from you keeping them alive has allowed us to get this close to Toman.
Yep.
So get your ass up and let's do this again.
Yeah, it's like, this is your chance to leap. Get out of here. Which then brings us to a great shot of where I love so much when Takamichi wakes up in the most random places. Like the hot tub one, for example, or in this case, bowling. Just at the most random times. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. Where you get a nice little cute sequence between him and Hina, them bowling together. Her just being...
she can't even bowl.
She's trying.
She's not even trying.
She's trying. I give her props. She's trying. And then the episode does end with us getting introduced to... Well, he doesn't get a name, but you get to see one of the key characters of this upcoming arc.
Yes, because it doesn't say who it is, but if you're paying attention, you notice he has the same scar on his lip.
Yep, exactly.
And you can also see his sister in the background.
Yep. I'm really excited for this season. This season's going to be pretty solid.
Oh, it's going to be interesting because it is a 25 episode, right?
No.
Oh, is it not? It's only 12?
Yeah, 13, I think, actually.
Oh, dang. So we're only getting Christmas.
Only Christmas.
That's a sad shame.
It is, but I mean, it does make sense. They're saving the Kanto incident for its own season. That does make sense because that's a big arc.
Also, the B team arc.
Shout out to the B team. Love the Kanto incident, bro.
Fucking B team arc.
Love if you enjoyed Tokyo Avengers and you've only checked out the anime, get excited for the Kanto incident for season 3. It is the B team arc and it is awesome. Everything about that arc is incredible.
But I mean, I feel like at least animated, I'm going to enjoy Silent Night a lot more than the manga because
right.
It wasn't bad in the manga, but I feel like I'll enjoy it a lot more animated.
I feel that. Me too. All right.
I enjoyed that opening too. It didn't play till the end credits, but that opening seems awesome.
Oh yeah, dude, the opening is sick. Tokyo Revengers was awesome, but oh damn, sounds like it's going to be super interesting. Yeah, season 2 will be very, very interesting for a lot of different reasons. I will say this, for season 2, you've got couple of very interesting plot twists coming up. One plot twist, which was kind of like the big establishment with this new character that's introduced, right? You get a nice like rug pull at the very end. It's like, wait a minute, it's this character, not this character. What? You know, so you get a nice little plot twist there, and then you also just get more stuff involving Kisaki, which I'm not spoiling it obviously, but more of him just being him,
A prick.
yeah, being a prick. With the next season, yeah, now you are correct. Season 3, which would be the Kanto incident, man, I'll tell you up front. That season, number 1, if you enjoy Tokyo Revengers and you kind of get the gist of things, number 1, with the next season, you will get one moment that you've potentially been curious about up until this point when it comes to Takemichi and his secret of time looping. You will get one very satisfying moment with that. You will get to feel some pretty serious pain. Unfortunately, that panel is still just burned in my brain. It's just so sad.
A lot of stuff happens in the camp.
A lot of stuff happens, and then like we're talking about, you do get basically the B team. All of the A team that you know with Toman, you got the B team here stepping up to the plate,
which I do at least appreciate. What Tokyo
too.
Revengers is, it uses all of his characters. The author did. He used all of his characters, which we're gonna get to see a bit of that in this. Silent Night, as I like to call it, because it does establish several more characters in this arc, which is very well done.
Yeah. Now this season will be good. Season 3 will be great. Oh no, paint. I'm telling you, the one panel from the character that you know, I'm assuming you know who I'm referring to, of just the character that's carrying said character, just him saying what he said and the expression on his face. It's so sad, bro. It's just like burned into my brain. You're gonna be feeling some pain in the next season. I'm very excited for the Kanto incident to come.
But until then, we have Silent Night, which should be great.
Silent Night will be good. Yeah, I will say, if you're a Mitsuya fan, he's gonna get a lot of action this arc, which is pretty sick because he's a pretty cool character. All right, let's hop over to the other shows that we've already been reviewing from the fall. We'll hit Gundam first, since this is the last episode. It went on a break a couple weeks ago, and that's why I didn't get finished until now. So Gundam, Witch from Mercury, episode 12. How was the finale?
Fuck, man.
Oh, that doesn't set us up well. That doesn't set up this conversation well.
It just ends in pain.
Oh, no, pain.
So, episode 11 starts with the Earth group attacking the base, the plant everyone's at, and everything. And there's more or less several things here. So, Earth Girl finds Soletta. She's like, "Oh, Soletta, I've already met you." Bang, 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 bang. Where's Ariel? Get Ariel. Let's fight. And all that fun stuff. She gets called away. And Soletta's just like, "I got to help Mirene." Runs off, starts doing stuff. I'm going to try and speedrun this because the Earth group's attacking the terrorist. Jal, pretty boy from the beginning who proposed to Soletta, his father's there and has been betrayed by Tan Rich Boy, who's trying to get people killed so he can take over the corporation. He decides that he's not going to be dealt with, so he deploys his own Gundams and goes out to fight and starts fighting in space. And which leads to his son, who I didn't even mention because I didn't think it was going to be a factor, is actually working under the name of Bob on the ship that's been captured by the terrorist. He manages to get out because one of the Gundams shoots the ship, causes the doors to open up. He gets out, gets a Gundam, and goes out in space to try and get to the planet and help. Well, he's in a model that's been registered as an enemy, so naturally he starts getting attacked by his allies, which is his father's Gundam. And those two start fighting, and he's trying to say, I'm an ally, but comms aren't working and everything. And he's just like, he starts having memories of Soletta and how strong he's just like, I don't want to die. Stabs the other Gundam. And then the comms kick on. And his father's like, he's like, I'm Jal, I forget his father's name, son. There you are. I've been looking for you. Blood everywhere. He's like, Father, eject now. I'll get you. He opens up, gets pushed away. Kills his own father.
Oof.
Ends his story there. Mirene's running around the ship, she's been blocked off with Fleta, trying to escape. And she runs into an elevator. It's her father and his guards. And it's like, oh, Miss Mirene. And her father's just like, why are you not wearing a suit? You need to be wearing a suit in times like this. And she yells, why are you not worried about your daughter, damn it? They have a moment during all the space fighting and whatnot. The Gundams are trying to take out crazy girl who I think's name is Sophia. I don't think that's right. It starts with an S though. I'll remember it for season 2. There's an orange one and there's a green one. They were just introduced like an episode or 2 ago. It's not enough for me to carry it other than they're going to be antagonists.
I feel that. You know how I am with names.
Yeah, she's the green one.
The green one.
She literally says, I'm a witch from Earth. So she's fighting everyone and killing them all, and there's a whole point where they try and pin her down with the antidote, which is the whole system they created to try and turn off the gun format. And she's just like, that's a joke. It only works up to mode 3. After mode 4, I'm still good to go. She flips it on someone, kills them, blows up the wall, which so happens Mirene and her father's behind. So that blows up. Mirene gets knocked unconscious, wakes up. Her father blocked her body, and he's now been stabbed with shrapnel.
Ooh.
And she's panicking. She's like, you can't die on me, yada, yada, yada. We actually get a hint of that finally where apparently some other attack happened where her mother and father was, and his father's referencing, me and your mother made a deal. At least one of us would get back to you. It's like, you're calling him a coward. Why didn't y'all both escape, yada, yada. So there was some incident that led to her mother dying, which he abandoned her because they made some deal that at least one of them made it back to their daughter so she wouldn't be orphaned. But she eventually gets on a stretcher, and she's running on a stretcher. Suletta, she's trying to get to Hangar 78, where Ariel is and her mother is. She gets there. A bunch of terrorists are there, about to secure Ariel. She's behind a wall. She makes a noise. The group that's occupying hear the noise, start going to where she is, and right before they turn the corner to blow her brains out, her mother steps out. Bang, bang.
Oh, no.
Huh? Her mother's assistant. Bang.
Oh,
the other
no.
guy turns around again. Bang.
Oh, no.
Straight murked all 4 of them like it was nothing. And we have some great imagery here because we have where the blood of these guys have showed up, and they're like on the threshold of the hallway door Soletta's at. Mm-hmm. And her mother's on the side with the blood, and Soletta's not. And Soletta's just like, you just killed them all. She's like, yes, I did. But
yeah, I did.
But if I didn't, you would have died. It's like running gets you 1 step, forward gets 2 step. I could have stayed behind that wall, but I would have lost you. But by coming out and killing them, I saved you. And now you can move and pilot Ariel, and you can save everyone. And I'm just like, this is some hard, mad mind manipulation on a child. Because if I remember correctly, Soletta's only like 14 or 15.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
And because it's her mother, and just because her mother's been doing this the entire series, I haven't really been pointing out, but her mother's super sus.
Right.
Suletta accepts it, takes her mother's hands and steps over the blood, accepting that she has to kill people to be able to save others. Fully giving up that sort of view of killing is wrong. And more or less, she boards Ariel. She goes out, and she just wrecks the shit out of everyone, naturally. She gets a nice new laser. It's not meant for combat, but she has a giant laser that shoots way too far and could have murked everyone, but for some reason she missed everyone, but it still stunned everyone. And then the space patrol shows up and is like, we're out of time to go. And the terrorists peace out. And Soletta's just like, all right, they're gone. Ariel, find Mirene. And we have the final moments, which don't even happen during the main episode. She goes to find Mirene and it rolls credits.
Oh.
And we get an end credit scene.
Ooh, gotta love a good old end credit scene.
Where Mirene is running down a hallway with her father on a stretcher trying to get him somewhere. And one of the terrorists that are still left in the ship rounds the corner. She's like, there's my target. I can't care if I can't get back to Earth. If I can at least kill him. and he's pointing the gun. Mirane blocks her father's body. Soleta crashes through, and she's like, "No, you don't."
So that's what all those. I saw that on Twitter, and I was just like, "What scene is this from?"
She just completely flattens that poor fuck.
Bro, I saw that all over Twitter of just the hand slap on the ground,
Yes.
and then her just sitting outside the hand like, ha ha ha. I saw that all over Twitter. I
Yes.
saw that all over Twitter.
Because this was just pain because Soleta does that.
That makes sense.
She's like, "Mirane, I'm here to save you." She gets out. Mirane's eyes are like wide.
Right.
Like full fear and disgust at what you have done, at what she's done. Soleta's accepted that she had to kill someone to save Mirane, but she's a klutz, slips and falls in the blood, covers herself in the blood, and she's all smiles still, and she reaches out her hand, which has been covered in blood now, and Mirane doesn't reach out. It's like, "How can you smile? You murderer." And it ends.
Wow.
And it's just like, we'll see you again in season 2.
What a mic drop of an ending.
I'm just like, fuck off.
Yeah, that's a mic drop of an ending, dude. Oh my God.
So it was just all pain. There was nothing good about this.
Right.
Jal kills his own father. Mirane's father's in critical condition. Mirane now thinks Soleta's a murderer. Oh, I forgot to mention, Nika, the blue-haired girl, who has contacts with the terrorists, she gives a call signal because the ships that they're all using is about to be destroyed by the orange Gundam girl. And she backs off, and one of the other people catches her giving that call signal and figures out that she's in league with the terrorist in some form or fashion. Mm-hmm. And that's all it does with that, but Nika's secret's now out there.
Shit, okay.
Yeah, it's just all pain.
Okay, overall, how would you rank this season? Because as you know, I still really want to watch this. I just didn't fit my schedule with everything else going on.
I think I'd give it a 7.
All right, that's not bad. That's good. That's solid. I still plan to watch it, man. I like the prologue a lot, and yeah, I still
we have
wanna
season
watch
2 in summer, so
yeah, I still want to check this one out, and I'm gonna definitely watch it all before the summer comes because I feel like there's a couple things lined up for summer right now, but I don't think it's gonna be anything like obviously what the fall was. The fall was just that was too much.
there's everything.
That was too much. Everything released in the friggin' fall, bro.
And then I can hit 2 Year Eternity real quick.
Okay.
2 Year Eternity was more or less Fushi now and Rinril, and more or less him going around touching everything, absorbing it into his memory so he can... It's as bad as it sounds. It's literally just shots of...
I hate how that sounds.
It's literally just him and Echo rolling around the town with Kohaku, and them and literally in every shot, Fushi's just up against things.
Touch, touch, touch.
Hi, camera. And more or less, them more or less setting up what they need to. Bond goes and gathers up the 3, our 3 immortals of Mazer, the debaucherous drunk, who's the cunning one, the guard, I forget what his whole thing is, but just, and then the knight from the Holy Order who's good with a crossbow.
Right.
I forget the other 2's name. I just remember Mazar because he's just completely out there. The other 2 are respectable. Then there's Mazar, who literally Bond rolls up to his house. He's like, "Oh, Bond, completely naked with 2 women on his arms."
That's Bond for you.
No, that's Mazar.
Oh, Mazar, yeah.
And more or less them doing their thing of showing up, Bond being like, "You need to come meet your new allies," and him coming to tell Fushi that you need to remember these guys. And Fushi coming to the conflict of, "You want me to use them? You know how much I hate doing that." Not telling Fushi, "Bro, you can revive them."
Still
just
keeping
like,
that one a secret.
he's just like, "You need to remember them. They may be immortal. We don't know yet till they die."
Right.
No, still hasn't told Fushi about the princess he brought back to life.
Still leaving that one, alone.
And then also them just going to the princess and asking for the different things of map of the city, the people's help, the army's help, and then Fushi just straight up the city and everything. More or less doing that stuff, sort of Fushi's interactions with Mazar for first off, and then we're going to get more with the other 2 in the next episode. And then finishing off with Fushi doing his construction plans, that is the city.
Right.
Because the water wheel gets broken. He's just like, he takes the old man's form, the old Saki man's. It's just like, "If you throw a tarp up, I'll build your water wheel in a day." And they're just like, okay, that's strange. They throw up a tarp. It's like, I'll get to work. Goes in. Oh, bear. Smash, smash. And rebuilds the entire water wheel and over the night and sets up the old Saki man's house behind and sets up there as his base. And while everyone's looking on and all, and the guards tell the princess, yeah, they rebuilt it overnight. We really have no clue what happened. And it just ends with Fushi as the old sake owner in the shop just staring down, waiting for the next client.
Okay, right on. I need to get around to watching this one too.
Yes.
I need to take a peek also and see what the hell's happening in the manga at this point. We dropped it so long ago.
I don't know. It could have ended by now as far as we know.
That's true. Well, I don't know. If it would have ended, I feel like I would have seen something about that on Twitter.
Because it was very much getting ending vibes, unless it did some other freaking out there.
It probably did something out there.
Because of all
this, to your eternity.
Because of all the things that were going on. They were freaking having a strange cult meeting in a sewer.
That's true. They were. I forgot about that.
And that's not even a spoiler because there's no context for it.
Right. All right, let's head over to Blue Lock. All we got left is Blue Lock and My Hero. So Blue Lock episode 13, which featured our dream team of 3.
Glam.
Yeah, versus the Glam team. So this episode was pretty sick, dude. I really enjoyed watching this because I loved how we are further just establishing how far Isagaki is from everyone else. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you see at different moments throughout this episode, in the past couple episodes, just the growth, but you still see where there is a large gap between him and the next step of where he needs to go, which is good because it just adds more to the character progression that we're going to get to experience. So for this episode, getting to see like, I think was it Nagi that scored first or Bachia?
Batra.
So right pretty early on in the game, you see Batra get a nice score.
Well, no, actually it's a setup because it's actually Asagi who scores first because it's a Batra Nagi setup.
Yeah. Either way, you get a score first early on, and it's just like everyone, and you as the viewer, you're watching this, you're like, all right, yeah, this shit's
and then we get introduced to Ren.
Yeah, this shit's about to go fuck itself.
And Ren is a hard ass.
Yes.
He's just like, stop. I don't know why you're letting your guard down. This is a battlefield.
Yeah, very, very hard about that. It's like, this is a battlefield. We come out here to fight and die. It's like, whoa,
and it's a whole imagery of just like carnage everywhere,
like,
rubble and everything.
Yeah, the soccer field changes to an actual battlefield.
And then Ren just casually does a half-court goal.
Yep, no problem.
Or half-field goal.
Yeah, with no issue behind it whatsoever. Which then just further puts us just like, are you fucking serious right now? That bro actually fucking do that? We're fucked.
Yeah, and just establishing just how ridiculous Ren is, and then it's just like, well, that's Ren. Now here's the other two.
Glam.
Fucking long-haired Glam dude with his super lanky limbs. We thought Wagamaru was tall. This dude's just like ridiculous.
Yeah, he's next level.
Yeah, because he just straight up, he's just like, Isagi's trying to guard the ball, and he's just like, ooh, Glam. Kicks it, and Isagi's like, usually I would have been hit by that. What just happened? How long is his limbs?
Yeah, Isagaki flat out like trying to figure out his limb length was hilarious. She's like, how is this possible? How long is this dude?
Yes. Oh, speaking of long limbs, I forgot to mention this in the Handyman Saito. So in that fantasy world, they have a measurement system of, I forget what the name of it, but pretty much one measurement is like 30 centimeters. And there's a moment where they describe this. He's like, oh, how'd they come to that measurement? Well, there was once a king who conquered all the land, and he had a very giant wiener.
What?
He had a very giant wiener. Our fairy girl, she's about the length of one Mekar, is what it is. And it's the name of the king. It's just like, oh yeah, God. He had a giant wiener. It would just flop all around. It is showing past of this giant guy, just a black shadow just going everywhere. He's just like, yeah, he was very good about using it. Like, he had tons of wives, bore tons of children, and the scientists at the time just made measurements by the length of his wiener, and that's just how we got it.
All right, I'm watching the show. I'm putting it in the queue.
And then the fairy and...
It's on Crunchyroll, right?
Yes, it's on Crunchyroll.
I'm putting it in the queue.
And the swordsmith, the fairy's like, yeah, it's pretty disgusting, right? Yeah. And then Saito looks at the fairy, she's like, Don't look at me like that. And he's just like, that's really long.
Oh, I did not expect this to go to a wiener conversation.
I completely forgot about that moment because
That's
I remember
amazing.
that in the manga, and when they started talking about it, I was like, they left it in. But back to Blue Lock. So this guy has super lanky limbs.
And probably a lanky penis, too.
Oh, shit. Handyman Sato's great.
Adding to the queue. Oh, God. But anyway, yeah, lanky limbs. He gets a nice goal. And then we get introduced to the other character that I was pretty curious about of what he
Mr. Insecure.
Yeah, unbelievably insecure, but he's, the third ranked dude in the building and everything. So I was very curious to see what he could do. Because, like, no matter what the team did, like, they were trying to formulate different plans and stuff. It was just getting shut down immediately. I mean, like, especially by Ren, kind of shutting it down and stuff. It's just like, oh, you guys are so pathetic. You're so weak. You're so slow. It's just the vibe of just how much further these guys are from our group, and then with the super insecure dude, he may be like the third ranked person in the building, but you wouldn't guess it, at a first appearance. Like if his number wasn't revealed, you wouldn't necessarily guess it. But throughout this episode, once it comes time for because you get a nice moment of all three of these characters get a chance to show their thing, and he gets his where he's just like, oh no, but if we lose here and I get kicked off the team, no one's gonna want me, and then I can't do this. It's like, oh god, I gotta get a goal. And I think it was Isagaki. He's just like, I don't care if I gotta fucking foul this guy. I'm stopping him. And then Isagaki's just like plowed over. He's like, how strong is this guy? As he's just completely determined, as this insecure dude, number 3 ranked, is completely determined to get a goal. And it's just even further as we go, we do get to see a nice goal made from Nagi and Bachira, like just natural teamwork kind of happened from there, and it gives you that little spark of hope for the rest of this game. But as the viewer, they're about to get crushed, and they did. They finished the crushing. It ended with a 5-2, I think, is what it was. Yeah, just ended with an absolute crushing. But also with that, since our team of our three dream team lost, how this whole thing is set up is for every team that wins, you can pick someone from the other team to join. And they pick Bachira. And Bachira's just like, oh, man, I really want to be with Isagi till the end.
And I do like that because there's a real moment that really should take ours with how the second and third are both like, we should get Bachira. And they're just like, and the Glam's just like, you can make my shots more glamorous. And the other guy's just like, yeah, you can really help the rest of us out.
Just because he had great passing.
We're all very individual plays and everything. With you, you can make our shots a lot more. And I want to take note of that, of just how much they've made it like they're individual and they want to use him for make their shots better. Yeah,
all individual scores, but like they just want that extra help to make it even better. Yeah, I do just continue to love how there's this like this love relationship between Bachira and Isagi, the way it's portrayed, where it's just like, if you want me, you have to come and get me.
Yeah, Bachira just throws that out there.
Yeah, I love the way that their friendship is depicted. I think it's funny. Just because of how serious they are about soccer. Whatever. It's like, if you want to play with me again, you gotta come get me.
I won't wait forever, Isagi.
Yeah. I just love it. I think it's funny. I think it's hysterical. I love their dynamic. But no, very curious and very excited to watch the next episode on Saturday to really to see what's going to kind of happen with our remaining 2. Because if they lose again, then another member gets taken. This is down to 1.
And based on the rules, if it's down to 1, you're out.
Yeah, you're eliminated. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen next, since it's going to probably be like obviously a 2v3 versus whatever team. It's not.
No, it's very hard set that the losers go to a 2v2 room.
Okay, so it does. Okay, so either way, curious to see how it's going to go, and then they can rebuild back to a 3
Correct.
team. All right. Gotcha. Following the rules. So I'm looking forward to seeing who they're going to be playing against and who's going to join their team. I like your face. Because Zach has read some of the manga up to this point.
Oh yeah, no, I'm completely through this section.
Yeah, so I'm. Your face tells me that I'm going to be very excited to see what comes up. All right, let's finish things off with My Hero. This one should be a pretty quick conversation.
I enjoyed how they did it.
I do too.
Because it was half a recap, but it was a very concise recap.
That's the big thing. Once the recap started, I'm like, oh no, this whole episode's going to be a recap, isn't it? I was really afraid.
Which it was really nice because only half of it was actually a recap because I about dropped it as well, but I was like, screw it, I got time.
I actually just fast forward, I'm going to be honest.
And then the second half was actually the aftermath chapter
Yes.
of everything, and just I do have something against. No, actually, no, never mind. I don't. It was actually fine. But yeah, I did enjoy how the recap was very concise and just everything, and
Just a few minutes.
yes, and just really hit all the bullet
Main
points
points,
for
yeah.
everything. And then I liked how the entire episode was done the same way. Of it was just future Deku just describing of the events as recalling it.
Yeah. Which that honestly, everyone needs to remember in case anyone has forgotten. Technically, that's this whole fucking series.
Yeah, it's all just a retelling.
Yeah, because like literally the first episode, first chapter, it talks about how he became the greatest hero. Like that's literally like that. Which you need to always remember that because it's just always an interesting little tidbit.
So it's always nice when we get these moments where it's very much future Deku, just full fourth wall breaking of just
Yep.
like, yeah, so shit went bad.
Yeah, shit went down.
And just how he refs like, I got to read the reports later.
Yeah. The one thing that I really liked about this episode, and I really liked it with the last episode as well, is I really just liked really further establishing through the recap and through that aftermath of just how much the heroes lost. Like while the fight ended in a stalemate, the villains left, heroes are left to pick up the pieces. It ended with a hero's L, and that's true with society. Where on the All Might statue, they made the sign "I am not here." Just the pure carnage all over the place, and the one hero giving up, where he's like, "I need to find a new line of work." Where he's just like, "I can't do this. I can't do this."
Yeah, because it is like a straight 7 to 8 minutes of just watching Uruka and some of the other UA students just not stopping, just constantly having to move from one person to the next to try and save people.
Yeah, and then it was also there was the one shot of bringing a patient over to a tent, and they were talking about like, "Oh, we need blood. Oh, it's like, oh, we're running out," and the doctor's just like, "I can only prioritize patients that can actually be saved." So, aka, there's patients that. Sorry.
Yeah, because there was an unconscious guy. He's like, he's unconscious. I just lay him down there, but he needs help. I can only save so many people.
Yeah. That's the one thing that the last two episodes have done really well, and that have done really well to translate it from the manga is really establishing how much of an L this is for society and for the hero society, and just how much carnage and just destruction was created, and just the dread in the air of the heroes are like the heroes are on the edge of completely losing this fight. And this is like how the episode ended with All For One talking about it, where he's just like, now we're at a point where I can do what I want. You know what I mean? I can make all the plays. It makes it further at that edge of the line here, where it's just like, okay, the villains completely have the upper hand, and the episode did a great job at establishing that feeling. And also, we'd be very remiss not to shout this out. Shout out to My Homeless Academia opening.
Well, I thought you were going to say how we got the reveal that Midnight is dead.
Rest in peace, Midnight.
And we did get that nice small montage of all the heroes that did die. And just Midnight was one. I didn't realize actually Majestic died.
Yep. Rip Majestic.
Then also all the villains captured.
Yep.
And then, we got My Homeless Academia.
Yep. Shout out to the opening, My Homeless Academia.
And then MILF number 3.
Basically. Lady Nagant's on the way.
MILF number 3.
Lady Nagant.
Actually, I guess she'd be 4.
Basically.
Because it's Midnight, Mountain Lady, and then Mirako, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it would be 4. It would be 4 among the community. So.
Yeah, because the My Hero community fucking all that over that when Nagant showed up.
Oh, my God. Twitter went wild over Lady Nagant, bro.
Fucking a lady.
They went wild over her, and she does have a pretty sick quirk too.
She does.
Like her quirk is pretty fucking cool.
But no, that My Homeless Academia opening was great. I hope they do like they did for last season of My Homeless Academia on one opening where they did a My Villain.
I want you to know that whenever the opening was starting and we got that shot of him standing up on the building, I just started laughing because of you.
Yes.
Where I'm just like, My Homeless Academia, baby. It's here. My Homeless Academia. I will say, since, the My Homeless Academia, and I want everyone listening to know that's obviously not officially what it's called.
No, not even close.
That's his dubbing of it because it's just funny. But I am actually, I'll be real with you, I am actually really excited for this to get animated and for it to be part of this season. I'm really excited for it because there's so many different, not only the stuff with like Lady Nagant, which is super cool, but just like seeing the character evolution of Deku.
Yes.
Including like his general attitude against his idol. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This whole arc is going to be very fascinating.
We're also going to get a return of a character.
Fuck, who is it? God, come on, Alex, remember.
Statue.
Oh, yeah.
He gets a great moment in this.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, favorite episode of the week?
Handyman Saito.
The penis thing alone, yeah. I mean, that would make it my favorite episode of the week. I don't know for me, man. I may give it to BLUELOCK.
I really should give it to Gundam, though, even though it was all just pain.
Give it to Gundam. It's your last time.
I'm not. It's going to Saito.
Give it to both. All right, it's both for you. I'd probably say BLUELOCK for me. I'd probably say BLUELOCK. BLUELOCK was really good. And shout out to Shadow Jacket 1 in the chat. Also shouting out BLUELOCK there. Yeah, BLUELOCK was really good this week. I really enjoyed it. All right, let's get to chapter ratings and wrap this show up ever so beautifully. So for anyone new here, listening to the show for the first time, for manga chapters, we keep it pretty much all spoiler free, especially for the big dogs. You know, like the one.
Except when you get to Yozakura family.
That's true. I go a little.
So if you care about Yozakura family spoilers at all, tune out then because he never skips over that.
That's not true. I'm gonna skip over today. No, like the big dogs. You know, One Piece, My Hero, Black Clover, JJK. Like we dance around those. We don't really talk about it. We rate the chapters and we move on. Now the chapters that we are rating came out last week. Weekly Shonen Jump is on a 2-week break.
They're doing their weird crap around New Year's like they usually do.
Yeah, so we're not even getting new chapters this upcoming weekend, which we would review on 101. So 102 of Anime Plus is the next time we'll have new chapters to review for Weekly Shonen Jump. So with that said, One Piece 1071. I'd probably give this one an 8. I think it was actually a pretty solid chapter personally. My Hero Academia 377.
Was there a chapter?
Yeah, there was a chapter that came out. It was another short one. Back to back.
Oh, that's right. It was super short.
We had back to back short ones because, again, unfortunately, Hirokoshi's having some massive health problems. He's having some pretty big shoulder issues, which he put in his author's comment that he would rather his shoulders completely fall off his body, which is very depressing to read.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it was just super short.
I would give it an 8 because I really enjoyed the reveal at the end because I legit thought that character was gone forever.
Yeah, I give it an 8 too because that was a great reveal.
Like as soon as I saw the leaks of that character coming back, I immediately sent it to Diaz because Diaz loves that character. I'm like, look who's back. He's just like, yes. I'm just like, didn't expect that, but
Just
here we are.
Complete out of nowhere, just like, yeah, let's reuse this character.
Yeah, out of nowhere, dude. Black Clover 347.
So that was a twist for Black Clover. Have you caught back up with Black Clover?
Yeah, I'm reading Black Clover.
Okay, cool. That was just a twist.
Yeah.
I'll give it an 8.
I'll give it a 7. JJK 209. Still haven't caught up on this one.
JJK is just, it's wild. I'll give it a 7.
Let's see. Mission Yozakura Family 161. This was just a very nice, feel-good chapter. You know what I mean? There was a lot of good vibes in this chapter. I'd give it an 8 personally. Unluck 142. Unluck's still in a really good spot right now. Honestly, I've been really enjoying the recent content. I'd probably give this one an 8 as well.
Okay.
Mashle 139.
I don't know. I'm just really not feeling it anymore.
It's still entertaining, but it's lost its charm.
Yes.
You know, it lost its charm.
Has.
Unfortunately, Mashle's lost its charm for me.
I'm gonna say 6.
I'll still give it a 7. Sakamoto Days 102.
I still hark that Sakamoto has some of the best wide panels
Oh yeah,
by far.
if you have not read Sakamoto Days yet, you need to go read it. Well, you need to go read a lot of these series we just shout out if you haven't read them yet.
I'll give it a 9.
Give it an 8. Give it an 8. Loose Samurai, 93.
There was slightly weird stuff with this, but I give it a 7.
Blue Box, 84.
8.
Give it 8 as well. P6, 65.
7.
Akane-Banashi, 47.
7.
Okay. Chainsaw Man, 117.
You can't buy an aquarium with $1 million yet. I'll give it an 8. It had a nice ending.
Give it 8 as well. Kaiju number 8, 77, that came out last week. Yeah.
Give it a 9.
I give it a 9 as well. Rent a Girlfriend, 265. I don't know, 6. Eden Zero, 2. I give it a big, fat 0. Dead ass serious.
I don't know where the series is going anymore.
Just when I thought, the writing was on the wall. It just got put on the wall. But when the series was kind of like in its early stages, first few arcs, it really gave you the vibe that Hiro Mashima is not going to pull a Hiro fucking Mashima and do the same thing he always fucking does, no matter what, every fucking series. But no, here we are.
Yep.
In the final arc, we're at 222, and here we fucking are, pulling the same shit that he always does that makes me have a love-hate relationship with every series that he has. Just when I thought Eden Zero would be the one that would be different. You know what I mean? The one that'd break the hero curse.
And it looked like it was going to.
It did. And here we are.
6.
0. When I saw what happened, like as we were getting through that chapter and I saw like the whatever protocol, whatever, I'm like,
yeah,
no. I saw the feet. I'm like, no. We did not. We did. And I'm upset about it. I hate it. I also hate, it makes sense for what they're trying to do to get to this one universe that we're in. But I really hate that we took a step back because like the adult Shiki we had was so fucking cool. So I'm so upset that we took a step back. This is stupid. I hate it. 7 Deadly Sins, 4 Nuts the Apocalypse, chapter 90. I would give this one probably an 8. Man, Arthur he's a weird dude. He's a weird dude. He's a weird man. Like just like the tone shift in this chapter with him because Guinevere, she's the one that can see the future and everything.
Okay.
So she let herself be captured by Camelot because she knows that Lancelot's going to save her. She's seen everything already, right? She's like, yeah, whatever, I'll get captured. Oh, that's where Arthur's castle is? I don't need you to follow me. And, it was funny because Ironside is, that's Percival's father who's working for Arthur. And Ironside's just like, there's nothing that you can tell me, to prevent me from escorting you. Because, she's in Camelot. She's the prisoner or whatever. And she's like, you're going to die a painful death and be in your precious son's arms, gasping for air, crying and frothing blood. And he just stops. It's just like, damn, okay.
Cold ass bitch.
Then she goes up to where Arthur is, who's also there with Merlin. It's the first time we've seen Merlin in a little bit. Arthur's up there with Merlin, and he gets like super shocked, and it's like normal Arthur, like his eyes are like normal white coloring, whatever. He's like, oh God, how did you get up here? And it's just like, oh, you're so and so. And then it's like the next panel, his eyes go completely black. He's like, hey there, so you're my bride. It's just like, God, bro, that's kind of creepy. She's a little girl.
Hi, Bowser.
Basically. But yeah, it's very interesting kind of where we're going with the series right now. Heading over to the Webtoons. Weak Hero 224. Wolf, bro.
9.
I'll give it a 9. Also, next week, Unordinary will be back in action as well. Sorry. Eleceed 203.
8.
And then Down to Earth 129. I'll give this one a 7. I also want to give a special shout out because I saw this on Instagram. I believe it was this morning as when I read it. But there was a webtoon that I was reviewing here on the show for a little while. It was one of my romances that I enjoy to watch called Reunion. The author ended Reunion pretty early. It only lasted about 26 episodes, and that was because her plan was Reunion was never supposed to be a full-length series. It was supposed to be a short thing leading up to a more serious tone series that's still about the same characters, Shiro, Raya, etc. But the next series that she's wanting, her dream series that she was wanting to create, was going to be focused on Shiro and all of like the vigilante business that he had, and be more of an action with a spice of romance. You know what I mean? Not pure romance. But she did make the announcement on Instagram earlier today that series is now canned. It's not happening. She went into full detail that it was always like a dream, and she would give up anything to be signed on with Webtoon like she was able to do. But it was just one of those cases where the way she described it is, you find out it's just not a good fit.
Yeah.
She wasn't able to do a Webtoon originals, sort of schedule, which that's pretty normal. We hear about it all the time with mangaka over in Japan. Obviously, we know the story of Togashi with how Hunter x Hunter's been. I just mentioned Hirkoshi and how he's dealing with some stuff, and this is pretty normal. So I wanted to shout this out because I just wanted to remind everyone, for these series that we enjoy to read, whether it be Webtoons or manga, just make sure to always be super thankful that we're able to read them and the work that they're putting in, because it is a pretty tough schedule if you're staying on a weekly basis, which a lot of these Webtoons that we like to read, especially to the quality that we're reading them, for the full color, just the art design itself, it's a lot of work. Granted, they have a team with them, yes, but it is a lot of work. So whenever you're, just when you're reading some stuff, just make sure to remember that we're very blessed to be able to read the things that we are reading across the board, because it is tough. So definitely send some good vibes out there to all of your favorite authors across the board. Favorite chapter of the week?
Wolf.
I'd give it a week here as well. That was pretty solid. All right, we have made it to the end of the show for today. Anime Plus 100 went on a little bit longer, which is nice. Nice to celebrate 100. Like I said, normally we do something big for like these 100s or 50s or whatever, but what we are planning to celebrate hitting episode 100 is we're going to be doing the top 100 animes of all time, and it will be ranked. It's a very ambitious list. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gathering up all the series right now. It's going to be a separate video. It won't be like a podcast episode, but we will probably do a podcast episode just kind of talking about some parts of the list. But it'll be a separate video, so be on the watch for that. And friendly reminder, as of now, Sparky 3 is officially multi-streaming. Shout out to the Shadow Jacket who is chatting with us here on twitch.tv/Sparky3. Of course, we're also live at youtube.com/@Sparky3 and youtube.com/@AnimanPlus. And we're also live over at Twitter at Animan Podcast and at AlexLight23. So wherever you are, drop a follow, subscribe to the channel, whatever. We definitely appreciate that. Drop a like, be a friend, tell a friend, of course. With that, I don't think I got anything else. We actually hit the music and get into the lead up. Zach, you got anything else before I hit the music?
No.
All right, hit the music. Let's get out of here.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help wherever you may be watching this, especially on YouTube. You can hit subscribe on that Sparky 3 channel, or you can hit up the Anime Plus YouTube and subscribe there and help us out build that one. Thank you very much. Bye.
And make sure to also check us out at Sparky3.com. You can sign up for free or sign up for $5 a month. We definitely appreciate that extra support. Make sure to check out some Rogue Energy. They did reveal their new can flavor, Black Cherry Lemonade, that I am very excited for. They are coming out tomorrow on the January 13th. You can use our referral link down below to pick some up. We would appreciate that extra support, as well as going over to Agent Ink and picking up an Anime Plus jersey, because it is the sickest jersey on the website by far. And then, of course, go follow us over at TikTok at Sparky3Official. We started posting over there, started having a pretty good time, and we definitely appreciate your follow there. Until next time, guys, have a good one. See ya.